He reads every word, but still doesn't understand the story. That's what a parent whispered to me once during a conference. And honestly, I've heard it in dozens of ways from both teachers and parents. When it comes to reading comprehension, especially in the intermediate grades, one of the biggest shifts is helping kids move from just retelling what happened, to understanding who it happened to, and why it's important. Characters are truly the heartbeat of a story. They carry their personality and motivation to each event. They face problems and conflicts and make decisions on how to fix them. When we help our children look closely at a character, at what they want, what they fear, and how they respond to challenges, we're teaching them how to connect more deeply with a story using skills and strategies they can apply again and again. It shows them, for instance, that every story, like every person, is layered, with minor and major problems, full of complexity and meaning. So, before we move on to how we accomplish this, I want you to hold on to this idea. If we can guide our kids to understand who the character is, not just what they do, we're giving them a powerful lens into the true drivers of the plot, the characters. By the time students reach the intermediate grades, 3rd, 4th, and 5th, they're expected to do something more complex. Think beyond what's written and process what it means. Many children struggle not because they can't read, but because they don't know how to think through these kinds of questions. They don't know the mental processing to apply when answering a question like, how did the character change? So they guess, or freeze, or give an unrelated answer. It's not a reading problem, it's a thinking or processing skill that hasn't been built yet. As parents, we can guide them gently into building the thinking pathways they need. Through modeling and helping them walk through key reading prompts, they can learn when and how to apply the mental strategies that understanding each aspect of character development require. So here are 3 reading prompts that make a big difference in understanding characters and their contribution to the plot, and the kinds of thinking your child needs to build. Help your child practice explaining how the character changes from beginning to end, what events caused that change, how the character's personality affects the story. Your child needs to use clues in the text to help identify relevant information that support their responses, and make logical conclusions about what they read in the text. Let's talk about the clues that they are looking for. So let's look at the thinking your child should be practicing as they seek to deepen their understanding of the character's participation in the plot. First, help them think about how the character changes from the beginning to the end of the story. Were they the same at the end of the story as they were at the beginning? Your child needs to use clues in the text to identify who the character was at first, maybe impatient or unsure, and then look for clues that show how they grew. Let's talk about some of the clues that they are looking for. One kind of clue to look for is what the character says. What do their words tell you about who they are? Are they confident or unsure? Do they complain, boast, or act kind? Look for negative talk, blaming, fear, or hesitation. Also look for clues that show what the character thinks or feels. Are they worried, excited, angry, selfish, lonely? Look for inner thoughts that show motivation or insecurity. Another kind of clue to look for is what the character does, or avoids. Do they lie? Take a risk? Help someone? Are they passive, bold, mean, honest? It's about helping your child think more deeply about what they're reading. And honestly, once you model this kind of reflection a few times, they start to doing it on their own. With time, your child will begin to do this kind of thinking naturally as they read a story. Some of the best reading comprehension doesn't happen while your child is reading. It happens after, when they're talking. Whether it's with their peers, you, a teacher, or even just thinking aloud, real conversation helps your child process what they've read in a much deeper way. Instead of just reading passively, they become active and engaged readers, stopping to reflect, checking if their understanding makes sense, and learning how to support their ideas with evidence from the text. It gives them practice with critical thinking, comparing their opinions with others, defending their own thoughts, and explaining connections between ideas in the text. They also start to build confidence in using academic language, not by memorizing a word list, but because they've had the chance to practice words like character traits, theme, or conflict in real conversation. And here's something subtle but really important. When your child tries to explain their thoughts out loud, they quickly discover whether or not their thinking holds up. With your gentle support, they can strengthen these gaps in their thinking. In my parent guides, you will find many prompts that you can use to support your conversation with your child, before, during, and after reading. Just picking one or two of these can create a rich conversation and deepen your child's comprehension. One of the most helpful tools I've used with students is a simple character development graphic organizer like this one. It gives your child a way to visually organize their thoughts, especially if they struggle to explain the connections they see out loud. Resources like these can be found in my PayHip store, which is linked in the description box below. Visit and download your free character development chart today. If you remember just one thing from our time together today, let it be this: the words you use matter. Conversation matters. Talk with your child about a story they are reading, or even a movie or a real-life situation. Try using words like, what was the problem? What challenge did they face? Was there a turning point? What solved the problem? What was the lesson learned? These words may seem simple, but they encourage big thinking. They help your child move from just retelling what happened, to reflecting on why it happened, and how it changed the character. So, don't worry about sounding academic or saying it perfectly. Just keep it simple, and keep talking and having conversations. Your encouraging voice is one of the most powerful and supportive tools they have. Thank you for watching, and for showing up for your child. If you found this helpful, I invite you to download the printable version, so you can keep it close by as a quick reference. You're not alone, and your effort, even in the small moments, really does matter. You can also subscribe to my Substack. See the link below, to receive weekly tips or new resources, stay informed about free parent tools, and receive valuable help as you guide your child's reading and thinking at home. Don't forget to like this video, leave a comment, and subscribe to this channel for more content like this that supports your child's reading at home. And, until next time, keep reading, keep talking, and keep thinking.